Welcome back to my workshop and welcome back to my garage. This is episode 11 of my Great Guitar Build-Off 2022 entry for the Elysium Firehawk, and we're going to be looking at how I got to the guitar up to this state right here. As you can see, the frets are nice and polished, the top's been level sanded and polished, headstock's been level sanded and polished, back's been finished as well, pickup cavities are painted, as is the control cavity. So this video is going to be going over everything that we've done to get the guitar up to this point. So let's get rolling. So what I've done, as you can see, I've got my straight edge laid across, and I've went ahead and I did adjust it a little bit. It had a little bit of forward bow on it, a little bit of relief, so I pulled it back just a little bit. But I check it on the sides, in the middle, and on the side again to make sure that there's no light coming in underneath that space there. Once I have that done, I know my neck is straight. I do have some support on the neck just to keep it supported. So I'm just going to go back over them with my fret rocker just so you can get an idea. But basically, it's three side, you take 3 frets, and it'll tell you if you have a high one if it rocks back and forth. It's not terrible. There are a few high frets, but that's to be expected. All right, so I've went ahead and I checked them. I know that I've got high frets. So what I'm going to do now is just a black line, black Sharpie across the top of each fret. This way, when I go to level, once all the black Sharpie's gone, I know that I've got all my frets level with each other. Now that I've got my frets marked, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my leveling beam and just transverse across the frets. I'm letting the leveling beam do all the work, just the weight of the beam. And I'm trying to keep a straight front to back, straight up and down the fretboard, so I maintain my radius. Fretwork's a tedious job, but I actually enjoy doing it. It's one of those things you just go nice and slow, especially when you start to file and get the file out. It's much nicer then. All the markers gone now. So what I want to do now is I'm just going to go back and check for levelness on all of them to make sure I'm still good. Still a little bit here. And what I'm doing now is I'm finding spots. If it's only high in the center, that's all I'm marking. So I've still got a couple minor high spots, so I'm just going to continue to hit it with the leveling beam for the moment. This won't take a lot. This will just be a few passes because it was very minor. All right, that's got those. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm going to put a little bit of fall off on these last few frets. These last few don't get a lot of adjustment from the truss rod, hardly any really, because of the fact that it's the heel of the neck and it's mounted into the body. So what I like to do is basically I'm just going to bring these down. What I've done is I've set a couple pieces of tape there at my 16th fret or 17th fret. Excuse me. Yeah, 17th fret. And I'm going to redraw lines, and what this is going to do is this is just going to recrown or level these a little bit more at a slight angle. And what this does is it creates just a little bit of fall off. These are going to just taper off a little bit more. Alright, that's all the line gone. So that means I've got my fall off in there now. It's time to get ready to start doing the recrowning. So in preparation for crowning the frets, what I want to do is I want to draw another line on top of the fret. And this is going to be kind of my reference line again, except this time as I'm filing each fret, I'll file on each side of the fret to recrown it until this line is just pencil thin across the top. So I want to leave just a touch of that Sharpie line across the top of the fret. There are a ton of videos out there on fret level and dressing that have a lot more experience than me. Take a look at Crimson Guitars, at Ben Crow's stuff. Ben does some phenomenal work. And there's a lot of other builders out there too that do some really good fretwork. Orbital Guitars is one. I really like the way that his channel comes together and what he shows and the fretwork that he does. So to do the level, it took 20 minutes to level everything. It'll take quite a bit longer to do the recrown. So what I'm using here is I've got my StewMac Z file with the safety edge. I always like to take an equal number of passes along each side. Don't know if you can see it very well, but you can see that line starting to get thinner. Alright, we'll just keep doing this until we're all done. Alright, next what I'm going to do is I went through and I double checked everything again, now that everything is leveled or crowned, to make sure that I didn't have any high spots still, that I made sure I didn't go too low on some spots or whatever. Everything checked good, so it's nice and straight and flat. So what I'm going to do now is I've got the fret rubbers. These are abrasive erasers basically, and I'm just going to go across the top of the frets right now. I've got, and as I increase in grit, right now I'm using a 180, and I'm going to go over each fret with the 180, and then I'll progress up to 400 and then up to 1000. And this will help remove some of the file marks, and it'll also help round over the fret ends a little bit. Here I'm just taking some 400 grit sandpaper on a soft pad and going the length of the fretboard across the frets. And what that's going to help do is that's going to help round over the top. It's 400 grit, so I'm not really removing anything at this point. I'm just polishing. So now what I'm going to do is just hit each of these frets with some micro mesh. I've got it on this soft pad here. Right now I've got 1200 grit, and I'm going to go all the way up to 12,000. All right, hitting this with some 12,000 grit now. That looks really good. See if I can get a close-up here for you. Don't know if you can see that, but that's got a really nice shine on the frets. It's rounded the ends over exactly how I wanted them to be. Now it's going to be time just to get them with some metal polish. So I'm trying to get a close-up here of the fretwork, just so you can get an idea of what it looks like. It came out really well. The ends are nice and rounded over. The frets are nice and polished. And overall this came out really well. I'm really happy with it. Looking forward to see how it plays. So here I'm beginning the level sanding process. I'm using this Super Acrylics paper. It's really a cloth. It comes with that pad and an interface pad. Cleans off really easy, lasts a long time. You can see the orange peel still on the guitar as I wipe it back, but I'm going up to 3,000 grit on this. And you can see now the orange peel is almost completely gone. I did leave a little bit of wood grain showing, but for the most part it's very smooth and a very nice finish. Okay, it's time to start polishing. And I actually have my mic on now so you can hear what I'm saying. So what I'm going to do is I'm using the StewMac polishing compound. First I'm going to use fine, and then I'll use the swirl remover just to get everything off. So I'm just going to put some on here. Then I've just got a buffing rag. I'm going to buff it in. I could do this with a machine, but given what this one is, I'm just going to hand buff, I think. Yeah, this is looking good already. Put my fine pad on now, and now just going to hit it with some swirl remover. And what I've got now is the fine pad on it. Want to make sure you keep the pad hydrated, that way it doesn't scratch. Now just to buff that back. All right, that's all polished up. What do you think? So I'm going to go ahead and paint the pickup cavities now while I'm waiting for everything else, because I've polished the body, so that's good. The advantage of doing this after polish is if you get anything on the top, it'll wipe off easy and it won't stain the wood, because this paint will really stain the wood. If it's bare wood, it sinks in quick. Alright, cavities are all done. We've got the 2 cavities here, and the wiring channel is all done. And on the back we have all the control access. Alright, well that's going to bring us to the end of this video. I hope you like what you saw. I hope you stuck around all the way through to the end. Please, if you like what I'm doing, click like, click subscribe, leave a comment below, and until next time, take care.